better be on the house. There had to be some perks to being a god, since everything else had been a disappointment. Although Anna never tired of Mythians fearing or bowing to her, some watched her warily even now, and she appreciated it all the more for not having had it when she'd been mortal. "How often does this happen?" Anna asked the bartender, hiking a thumb at the ring. The shifter shrugged. "Every night." "Know anything about the fighters?" "Not the loser, but the winner. He's never lost. Fights pretty often. Seems to like it. Keeps to himself otherwise." Anna nodded and turned to look for her prey. The beer slid refreshingly down her throat, and she sighed in pleasure at the smooth taste of the infrequently allowed delicacy. Focusing on the taste helped calm her nerves just a bit. She was raising the bottle to her lips a second time when she spotted him standing off to the side of the crowd near the jungle that crept up to the dirt lot. It had been 2,000 years since she'd seen him last, when she'd thought she'd killed him and taken his place as a Celtic god. Those years had been kind to him, considering that he was still alive. Almost as kind as the way-too-hot woman draped around him, sucking on his neck while he unwrapped the bodycloth from his hands. Anna stifled the strange little twinge in her chest. She'd cared for him once, and he for her, but that was so long ago the memories had gone to dust. Or so she told herself. She took one last swig of the beer to chase them away. Now or never. If she wanted a permanent escape from Otherworld, the land of the Celtic gods, and what felt like her eternal prison, there'd be no more dawdling, no matter how nervous she was about his reception or willingness to help her. She needed him. Admitting to it scraped something raw inside her, but after 2,000 years, she wanted out more than she wanted her pride. Anna sucked in a deep breath and wound her way through the crowd. When a Lobusami got handsy as she passed, an elbow to the gut halted his straying paws, and a glare stopped another. Fancy Brazilian name or not, they were dogs like the rest of their werewolf brothers. Within moments, she'd reached the edge of the crowd and stood before the now kissing pair. She squashed her nerves as she gazed at the strong profile of the man she'd never been able to forget, whose mouth was glued to the woman's. He was a bruiser, even from the side, a contrast of hard features and short ginger hair. He looked rougher than she remembered. Bigger, too. "Camulos," Anna said. She glanced dismissively at the sultry woman now trying to swallow his tongue. "Come," he said absent-mindedly as he drew his face away from the woman's to look at Anna. His brows shot up, his gray eyes widening the barest fraction. A scar sliced through one of the brows. "Recognize me?" she asked, absorbing the fact that he no longer went by Camulos. "Andrasta," he rasped, shock plain on his face. Did she hear his breath catch? Hers certainly did. He looked every inch the god he'd once been, strong and powerful with broad shoulders and big arms that looked like they'd been cut from steel. A man comfortable with the mantle of worship, even if he no longer carried it. Anna shot a pointed glance at the other woman. "Luciana," he said, drawing the woman's mouth away from where it had suctioned to his neck. Anna's eyes zeroed in on the huge hand that cupped the back of Luciana's neck, then looked back to realize that he'd kept his gaze trained on her own face. "You need to go," Camulos said to Luciana. Luciana pouted at him, then turned to look at Anna. "A goddess?" Her brows shot high. She no doubt noticed the small glow emitting from Anna's skin and marked her as one from Otherworld. Her lips twisted in a sneer. "I thought you Celtic gods never left your cold realm." She'd be right, Anna thought bitterly. Cold and emotionless, that was Otherworld, and she was trapped there except for a few times a year when she could sneak out without the other gods noticing. But that was what she wanted to change. "Beat it, sister," she said, trying out some earth slang she'd seen on a TV show. Sneaking a laptop into Otherworld and firing up movies with her magic was one of the few ways she stayed sane. The woman pouted, gave one last longing glance at Camulos, and then moved off into the crowd. Camulos gave